beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Oh my God, this is getting seriously. This is getting more interesting every day. Oh God, Mr. Felix Morka is in soup, is in obedient soup. Hey, today, Felix he has come out to say he has received 400 threats from pro-obedient supporter. Hey, Felix said his life is in danger. Oh, my beautiful people. Oh, anyway, today he has been called by Arise. Remember, this matter started from Arise when they were still interviewing him, and he called Peter Obi prophet of doom. He has crossed the line. All those things, Felix is denying today in Arise morning show studio. Anyway, my beautiful people, this video has been all the social media or all the media houses has been hammering on this very matter. My people, I beg, before I start ranting too much, oh God, let's just watch, then I will come back. Hey, this one is that is going out of hands. Yes, my beautiful people.
Peter Obi engaged themselves in a war of words over an alleged threat to the life of the former Anambra State governor. This emanated from Peter Obi's New Year's message, where he criticized some of the federal government's policies and also the security situation in Nigeria. Responding to Peter Obi's new message, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Felix Morka, accused the Labour Party presidential candidate of peddling falsehoods, inciting Nigerians against the APC-led administration, and continued by saying, and we quote, Mr. Obi has crossed the line so many times. I think that at this point, he has coming to him whatever he gets. He should manage it.
Mr. Obi is shooting from the hip. He's not looking, he's not taking an aim. He just, shoots widely like, what we used to see in movies back in the day, in the Wild Wild West. He is not being rational. He's absolutely irrational in his thinking and in his public commentary for a man who was governor for 8 years, who left nothing to remember in Anambra State by way of a legacy or transformation. But all of a sudden, he served as governor 8 years. He didn't have the wisdom or the smarts to change Anambra State, to make Anambra the beacon, that example of, governance in the country. But then, he runs for president, in 2023. And then now, he didn't win. He's sulking, rather than actually get a perspective and, figure out what he did to lose so he can do better in the future. He would think that he can bring down the government by simply, being maliciously deceptive. That is wrong. I'm not somebody to, to go on that offensive in that manner. But Mr. Obi has crossed the line so many times. And I think that at this point, he has coming to him whatever he gets, he needs to manage it.
However, in a statement on Tuesday, the APC National Publicity Secretary clarified that his remarks were not a threat to the former Labour Party presidential candidate, but rather an emphasis on Obi's tendency to lie about the ruling party and its performance in office. Reacting to Morka's interview, the national coordinator of the Obedient Movement, Seât, warned the APC against intimidating Obi, his family members, or close associates, insisting that such a threat should not be allowed to go unaddressed. Reacting via his official X handle, Obi wondered how a harmless New Year message he gave could elicit a threat from the APC spokesman. Joining us on this show this morning to discuss this latest developments is Felix Morka, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress. Welcome to the morning show, Mr. Morka.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bati.
Very good. Now, straight question. Who is threatening who? the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi and Yunus Satanko have said in the public domain that you threatened Peter Obi, his family members, his associates, by saying that he has crossed the line of truth, he allegedly said, and that he should be prepared for what he will get, and whatever he gets, he should manage it. Mm-hmm. What is he going to get?
Okay, good question.
For, exercising his freedom of free speech. And now the APC has also turned around to say that you yourself are now being threatened by an online mob who has threatened you, who has phoned you, who has threatened members of your family. Because now we're dealing with the politics of threats in Nigeria, which should be a major step back for our democracy. If we could just clarify these two sides of the controversy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bati. You just played back the tape of the interview I had with this station, in which a very specific question was put to me. And the question, because when you play the tape, it's important for the viewers to understand the question I was responding to. I was not speaking in a vacuum. I was responding to a very specific question put to me during that interview by your colleague. And the question was this: you have hit back with a volley of attacks, calling Peter Obi a prophet of doom. Some of you have said he is always embarking on voodoo economics that are not in line with the current realities. Do you think this is a slingshot that has gone beyond normal politicking? Now, everything I said in my answer, including the last sentence which you referenced, was in direct and exclusive response to the reference to Peter Obi as a prophet of doom or as engaging in economics. So in other words, my answer was, if Peter Obi was called a prophet of doom or was called a voodoo economist, he has it coming to him because he has crossed several lines of truth. End of story. End of story. There's nothing else to suggest in those words that I said in the moment of an interview that, saying Peter Obi has been, speaking a lot of, falsehood, quite frankly.
He says he has received death threats.
From who exactly?
Could it be that your statement, it was a form of incitement, to pro-Tinubu, pro-administration persons?
No. You see, he who alleges must prove. If Peter Obi says anyone threatened him, he must, beyond just saying, I've been threatened, Peter Obi, I think he, for a man in his standing, he should adduce or, supply some evidence of those who threaten him. Because if anyone threatened Peter Obi, we shouldn't be having a conversation in your studio. The law enforcement system should be looking for those who threatened Peter Obi's life. So, but the point, I want to make two major points. One is that I, Felix Morka, did not threaten Peter Obi. Nothing I said in that interview begins to even suggest remotely that, Peter Obi, I was asking anything other than saying to the man who was asking me a question, he said, you guys are calling him prophet of doom or, voodoo economist. And I said, well, you know what, if that is what it's called, he has, he deserves it because he's crossed the line of truth. Now, I don't know by what medium or by what, effort do you then transmogrify that conversation into a threat to Obi's life and the life of his family or those around him. Okay, that is libel in the extreme.
I know Mr. Obi likes to quote figures from Bangladesh, from India, from China, but that's not what we're talking about. Let's move to the second leg of it. Has anybody threatened you? Because your own party is saying you have been threatened. And who are those people who have threatened you? How?
Actually,
because you are alleging.
Absolutely.
You should also prove.
As it turns out, Peter Obi's allegation that the words I spoke in that interview threatened his life. Now, immediately, as I speak, I have documented no less than 400 threats, about 200 of which, over 200 of which are death threats. Document. I'm not talking about people just, these are written texts that I have carefully documented and which, I'm providing to the law enforcement agencies, or people really telling me how they, graphically describing how they intend to take me out, to shoot me, behead me in graphic language. You see, this is not a joke. And it's gone further to some members of my family who have also been, threatened directly. I'm not speaking about just, suggesting in graphic, language. You see, but, I'm not concerned about that because, what has triggered this entire insanity cannot be attributed to me. I did not threaten Peter Obi. And so anybody who is threatening me, that is their decision to do so. But, I hope that our law enforcement system will respond as effectively as possible to also, bring those individuals to justice.
All right, thank you so much. And I'm really sorry that you're having to go through death threats. It's unfortunate and sad that this is what politics in Nigeria has, descended to. However, going back to Dr. Abati's first question, I don't think you responded to that clearly. It was on this station you made the statement, and I would read the statement back to you.
Yes.
And you have an opportunity now to clarify that statement. In all the statements I've seen you, and including statements from your party members, they've only just said you did not threaten. But the big question is, clarify what you mean so that it's not ambiguous, it's not open to misinterpretation. You said he has crossed the line so many times and has it coming to him whatever he gets. What did you mean by that statement?
Look, I think I did as high actually, but let me clarify that. Now, in the statement that I put out yesterday in response to this allegation, I was very clear. Now, first of all, what I meant in the context of the question, because you can't think about crossing the line outside of the question I was responding to. I didn't come to make an independent statement. I was asking the question. You just asked me a question, I'm responding now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I said, and I stand by what I said, which is that the question was, you called, or APC has called Peter Obi, and by the way, the issue of prophet of doom was not my word. Let me just be clear. In my statement, responding to Peter Obi's New Year message, I said that based on his extreme pessimism, he's starting to become Nigeria's leading doomsayer. That was what I said. And what is a doomsayer? Check any dictionary. It talks about somebody who is, intently pessimistic. That's my language. But, the media, because people are more familiar with prophet of doom than doomsayer, he became prophet of doom. Okay, that was the language that the interviewer put to me. And I said, simply, you have called Peter Obi doomsayer, and I answered, if he has been called doomsayer or prophet of doom, he deserves it because he has crossed the line of truth so many times. That is the open and shut, point that was made in that interview. It was a response to, you called Peter Obi, prophet of doom, and I said, well, yes, he's been called prophet of doom because he is peddled a lot of false narratives.
Yeah, but you said has it coming?
Yes, meaning
has it coming to him?
Prophet of doom, whatever name he's called in this context, prophet of doom, voodoo economist, or economist voodoo, or doom prophet, he has it coming. Meaning that is simply an English language expression. And quite frankly, I think that, like you said, in our politics today, I know that partisanship can be, intensely polarizing. But when you speak about people's lives, we shouldn't commonize it.
Absolutely.
I'm Felix Morka. Of what use? I'm not in competition with Peter Obi. I am not running for president today. Peter Obi is not my opponent. Felix Morka versus Peter Obi. I don't have anything that I'm challenging Peter Obi or he's challenging me about. I speak for my party. When Peter Obi comes on national television on a New Year Day and reels out a lot of facts that I consider to be misleading, it is my duty as the national spokesman of APC to, clarify. And in my statement, there was nothing condescending. I simply said, you got it wrong. Because, for instance, crossing the line of truth means in Peter Obi's campaign to be president, he said, on day one, I'm going to take out fuel subsidy. Tinubu took out fuel subsidy on day one. Peter Obi has continued to lambast Tinubu. And I said, on that score, you are crossing the line of truth. You also promised to do the same thing. On the issue of harmonizing the dual exchange rate, Obi promised to harmonize dual exchange rate. Tinubu harmonized dual exchange rate. Obi has continued to lambast Tinubu about it. And I said, you are crossing the line of truth. On the issue of national security, or on the issue of youth employment, everything Peter Obi promised he was going to do, this president is, trying the best he can to do it. And I'm simply pointing out, when as a statesman, you want to discuss, the national fortunes or misfortune, it behoves on you, even when your interest lies more in advancing a false narrative or a negative narrative, because it makes you look like an alternative to what you consider negative. But you must do so with some level of, truth and facts, even if it's not truth, because truth can be relative. But at least facts can be a bit more objective. Be factual. So if we say, for example, that on your show this morning, you did say that, IMTO inflows into Nigeria has risen by 60. That's an objective fact.
The fact
right?
and the poverty numbers, were they factual or not?
No. Because
Nigerians, 100 million Nigerians in poverty.
No, see, let me address that.
150 multidimensional poverty. Was that fact?
See, as of 1999, 2001, 2011, over 45-48% of Nigerians were living in multidimensional poverty.
Currently, are they?
No. See, my point to you,
yes.
If I'm not here to. I'm not. Again, I'm not going to be. Talking about figures and what is accurate and what is not.
Talk about facts.
What I'm saying is that even if let's assume without conceding that the figures Peter Obi put out as those who are living in. The point I'm making in response is that long before Asiwaju thought of becoming president or running for president, a number that is very similar of Nigerians were living in multidimensional poverty. In other words, it didn't happen yesterday. And by the way, even if Nigeria, everything about what Peter Obi said, Nigeria started to turn the corner, everything started to look up, we're creating more employment. That is, data, statistics, takes a minimum of at least 10 years to reverse. You will not see any impact for at least 10 years. Those are long-term statistical, gestational period for evolution, for you to change that. So it's not, it doesn't happen in 18 months. It doesn't. And that's my point.
Right. So you said that you're challenging facts or the misrepresentation of facts.
Correct.
Is in essence, that's your duty. However, what we saw was an attack on a person, not an attack on facts. And this is the issue. So for you to exonerate yourself and say, I didn't start this, when Peter Obi's New Year's address very clearly addressed the issues, but yes, you say you were responding to a question. However, you're trained in this field and you could have turned your response into an address of the facts. My question to you is, why are we seeing this culture of toxic rhetoric from the spokespeople of this administration, not just from yourself, there's several of you who, who speak on behalf of this administration. Last time it was Olusegun Obasanjo who was told that, he's not even a worthy statesman to make this kind of statement on another issue. Another opportunity, it's Atiku Abubakar. Who is he to say all of this? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Why is there a culture of attacking the messenger as opposed to just dealing with the data?
No, I think you're getting this slightly wrong, if I must say. Now, if you read my statement in response to Peter Obi's statement, it had nothing but laying out those indicators of progress that I spoke about. That's it, Mr. Obi, while it's okay for you to see the economy and see Nigeria from your own, lens, it's important that you recognize certain objective, facts. For instance, in your studio here this morning, you did put out some information. Mr. Rotusu does a fantastic job. Says, look, that IMTO inflows into Nigeria has, gone up over the last year by nearly 63%. That is a fact. So, in other words, if I am, trying to speak to the economy and that issue, I will acknowledge that, look, while this is going on, there's a whole lot more to be done. Now, to say that everything is becoming worse by the day, that is factually incorrect. Now, let me say this. in my statement, from the beginning of my statement to the end of my statement, it was all about facts. The first paragraph was where I acknowledged what Peter Obi said. Otherwise, I simply gave examples of what I thought were positive indications that the policies of this government were moving in the right direction.
Is he not entitled to sharing his own experience?
No,
his experience are that things are getting worse. Is he not entitled to sharing the truth of his reality?
He is.
Why do we attack people for sharing their reality?
Peter Obi is entitled to share his, understanding and his views and his own, well, if you say his reality, that's fine. But look, what I'm saying is that when Mr. Obi, when the president or the government puts out, its own record, and Peter Obi feels entitled, as you're suggesting, and I agree with you, that every Nigerian has a right to form their own opinion and, speak to it, no problem. But if Mr. Obi is entitled to speak his opinion to the president's or the government's own, narrative, what stops anybody else, including Felix Morka, under our constitution, the liberty to also say to Peter Obi, just like he is saying to the president and to the government, that you are not doing the right thing? What stops me in my own exercise of my constitutional freedom to say to Mr. Obi, actually, in your own pushback, your narrative, you are actually also getting it wrong. You see, I'm a human rights lawyer. Human rights and this entitlement to free speech is available to all of us. It's not exclusive to Mr. Obi or to me or to you or to Dr. Bati. It's available to all of us as human beings, as citizens. So when Mr. Obi, critiques a position of government or a record of government, Mr. Obi should, also be calm when others critique his own narrative, because, these are competing narratives, and we're in a political society where competing narratives are, people who are listening, we choose. What do I believe? Do I believe that things are getting better, or do I believe that things are getting worse?
Okay,
that competition is a necessary aspect of our democracy, and the right to challenge each of the narratives is also a concomitant, right that we possess as citizens.
Look, I get your point about the right to free speech and how no right under Chapter 4 of the Constitution is absolute. Your right begins where my own stops. That's clear enough. But two quick things. Now, LP, Labour Party, and APC are the ones fighting now. But are you aware that the PDP presidential candidate, Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar, has also intervened in this matter? And he specifically accuses the APC administration of trying to stifle the voice of the opposition. Mm-hmm. And that the words you use in criticizing Mr. Peter Obi were derogatory, inflammatory, and such words, he says, should not be used in decent community. Mm-hmm. That is Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party. So it's not just about Labour Party versus APC. It's not just about Felix Morka versus Peter Obi. And then the second leg of it, and I need you to pay attention to this. You said Mr. Peter Obi is sponsoring a mob of reckless people who are defaming people, attacking people, bullying people, threatening people on social media and everywhere. A headless mob of bullies. Are you referring to the obedience? And I would like you to comment further on that characterization of this mob that you say Peter Obi is sponsoring, and now that mob poses a threat to the administration and to society.
Thank you. As for the former vice president and his, intervention in this matter, I am certain that the former vice president has neither played back the tape of that conversation nor reviewed the transcription, the verbatim written transcription of that clip. I don't think he has done so, because if he did so, I would be surprised and disappointed that the former vice president would say the things he has said in relation to this matter.
I'm accusing of ignorance.
Dr. Bati, that's not my word. I'm suggesting that he has not reviewed that I want to assume that he has not reviewed the clip, watched the clip, nor considered the text, the translation, the verbatim, transcription of that clip. If he has done so, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he will not come to the conclusion that he did. Somebody may have just told him, this is what Peter Obi has said, and he decided to respond without, any due diligence to understand exactly what was said. So I'm willing to grant him the benefit of the doubt, because, if I truly believe that he said that, then I would again, be utterly disappointed in the former vice president. Now, but again, whatever he has to say or he has said, are entirely his, personal opinions, and that's fine. Now, on the second part of your question, yes, I have been threatened by those who, even in the messages, profess loyalty to Peter Obi, who has said to me directly that, this, what you've said, we believe constitutes a threat to Peter Obi's life. Even when I have put out information initially, before my statement yesterday, on the APC handle, providing the verbatim translation or transcription of what I said, I put that out, and with the clip, relevant clip, so that you can listen and read. That has not persuaded them to get, an enlightened perspective of that conversation. Now, yes, these are people who profess loyalty to Peter Obi. Now, if I have followers who go around threatening, Felix Morka or anyone else for that matter, I would, call them to order and say, look, hey, this is not necessary. I will, speak, even when I feel like this individual has said something I don't appreciate, I would still say to them, do not do this. But, so far, Peter Obi was quick to, claim that my words threatened his life and that of his family falsely, according to me. However, up until now, even though I have said publicly that these followers of his are threatening my life and that of my family, I have not seen anything by way of a reprimand or a call for, for stay on the part of Mr. Obi.
In that regard, if I may comment. Now, I'm aware that Dr. Yunus Atanko, the spokesperson for the Labour Party, and also Mr. Peter Obi himself, they both pointed out that there's a difference between the Labour Party and the obedience.
Oh.
I think one of them had said that the obedience constitutes a movement over which neither Peter Obi or Yusuf Tanko has any control. Okay. So will it not be too much for you to expect that Peter Obi can talk to a movement over which he has no control? They seem to have a mind of their own.
Dr. Bati, you, more than anyone else in this country, you're one of those people who follow, who understand what's going on in this country, and you've been in the system. Mr. Bati, can you imagine this president, any group of supporters who are directly or remotely affiliated with this president, who tomorrow will go out to threaten people's lives? Can you, would you truly, realistically expect that Mr. Obi and Labour Party and the obedience, who clearly are driven by him, would say, oh, no, these ones who are Tinubu supporters are not, don't hold Tinubu responsible, don't suggest that he has any leverage with them to say, hey, stay. And when he doesn't do that, they will simply exculpate him and say, Mr. Tinubu, well done. You know what, despite what the distinction you try to draw, I believe, and I think most Nigerians believe, that obedience, after all, what's obedience? Obedience are people who say they are obedient to Peter Obi. I mean, we're not going to argue about that. In any event, my point is that whether he calls them to order or not, I'm simply just underscoring what I believe to be, I think a departure from the duty of those who claim that they are statesmen, who bear a higher responsibility more than, some of us who are lesser mortals in this society of ours.
All right. Okay, just very quickly, to go back to my question around the statements made and just factual. You're not the president's spokesperson. You are the National Publicity Secretary of the APC. The APC has been in government for 8 years and counting. So these 10 years you say is actually under the APC government. So it means that it's an APC administration that plunged Nigerians into the poverty levels that we see today. So you can exonerate the current president, but it's also a president under the APC that under his administration, 133 million Nigerians are said to be multidimensionally poor. So it's the same thing. So whether it's the Buhari administration, the Tinubu administration is under the APC, Nigerians are poorer. True or false? Because let's deal with the issues now. Because, I mean, away from Mr. Peter Obi, Nigerians are saying that they are hungry. People are in multidimensional poverty. What do you have to say about that? So would you, yeah, and then I will ask on a final note, if, for the sake of peace, so that we can, at least one person would extend the olive branch, would you say, as a result of perhaps your statement being misconstrued, an apology for the statement you made whilst you were here, that you will get what, because you've now clarified it, but at least apologize so that the people who had been going to make threats would then go, at least you wouldn't also be accused of leading a headless mob or people who are threatening Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party, members. So 2 things on that one. First, just an assessment of your administration. 8 years now under the Tinubu, as quickly as possible, please. Because we talk about 10 years, it was under the APC administration.
No, see, let me say this. Your question creates a context as though Nigeria began 8 years ago.
No, but you're the one who said 10 years ago. The poverty level.
I was talking about the statistical period and gestation. What I'm saying is that your question almost frames a context that Nigeria started 8 years ago or 10 years ago. It didn't. The Buhari administration came on top of nearly 2 decades of governance by the then ruling party. It's
2 decades as well now. Or it's 1 decade now. Going to 1 decade of administration.
So the Buhari administration was a corrective government. And correct it did as it did.
By plunging Nigerians into poverty?
No. Now, are you suggesting that Nigeria had no poverty? There was no poverty in this country?
You said more people got...
No,
because we have to deal with facts here. No, we have to deal with facts here, Mr. MORKA.
Hang on.
The facts are out there.
No, hang on.
More Nigerians were plunged into poverty under the APC administration.
Okay, can I ask you a simple question? Do you have the data of the Nigerians who lived in multidimensional poverty as of 2015?
Under the Jonathan administration,
how many
less than 70%. Under the Buhari...
70%?
Yes, less.
Than 70% of Nigerian population?
Yes. Under the Buhari administration, it was over 70%, and at some point, Nigeria was actually ranking high as the poverty capital of the world. So I think that's just fact out there. I'm not saying that in terms of what you said.
But you see what you say. If you take the 10-year parameter you just mentioned,
yes.
So take it that in 10 years of the 10 years of the PB administration before 2015,
yes,
that Nigeria did not move anywhere. Because if, as of 2015, no. You see, you think about what I'm saying, please.
Okay.
Think about what I'm saying. If we, let's say, for the sake of this conversation, we're not economists, right? So let's say that 10 years is that period where we say whatever, the gestation period for transformation of that, data takes 10 years. It means that if 70% of Nigerians were living in multi-dimensional poverty as of 2015, it means that 10 years prior...
Yes, it was your administration that plunged more Nigerians into poverty.
Yeah, let's say 69%. Living in multi-dimensional poverty as of 2015. What I'm saying is that the early 20 years of the PDP did not radically, that's 2 frames of data era, did not radically help this country reduce poverty. Now, the next 10 years that you're referring to, that people like to refer to, of the Buhari administration, now, added to the Tinubu administration.
Yes.
When you say that this APC administration of, let's say, the last, 8-9 years, is the reason Nigeria has the figure you read out of people who are living in multidimensional poverty, that is actually disingenuous. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry to say what you're saying.
That is not economics. That's utter. That's just being disingenuous. I'm so sorry about that.
Factual. It is the facts are out there. The Buhari administration plunged more Nigerians into poverty, but we need to go because of our time.
Manipulated facts.
Not at all.
It doesn't.
For people, welcome back. Nah, man, this Philip MORKA can talk lie. This man, hey. My question is that why is it that APC administration, they are so afraid of Peter Obi? Why? Why is it that anytime Peter Obi does come out to make a statement, they will attack him? Boom. Even though when Peter Obi was campaigning for this presidential election, everything Peter Obi say he want to do, Tinubu rushed. Nah, man. Peter Obi say want to remove fuel subsidy. Tinubu went and boom. And the problem is that the way Peter Obi wanted to do it, he think that that it's just coming to remove fuel subsidy is the problem. The way Peter Obi wanted to do it is not even the same way they did their own. And I don't know, please, my beautiful people, that lady on pink, I don't know what is her name. Oh my God, if that lady is beside me right now, I could have just given her a kiss in her two cheeks. That lady, hey, I don't even know what is her name. Please, my beautiful people, when you watch this video, please tell me that lady name in the comment section. What is her name, Seth? Oh, that lady, he hammered the question. Why is it that this administration, anybody that come out to talk his opinion or talk his mind or say the way it is, people will just come out and start attacking that person like bees? Why is it so? Everybody have freedom of speech. Peter Obi just came out to express his own feeling, what he has been saying, what has been happening in Nigeria, and which is just the gospel truth. If Peter Obi did not say the truth, people will still come, Nigeria will still come for him. Why is it that it's only APC that sees that what Peter Obi, the New Year pitch of Peter Obi is problem to APC? For you coming out to be raining insult on Peter Obi, and now you are sitting here, Felix Moka is sitting in this place, in this Arise Morning Show studio, to deny, to design it with English. Hey, my people. And this morning show, I really love them. When you, I wish Rufai is in this place. Oh my God. Today could have been hot. But thank God for Ayo and the lady in pink. I don't know what is her name. Nah, man. Why is it that anytime they say, people will come out and start choking mouth on anybody? Is it this same man that said on that interview, that the same day that he was interviewed, is it not him that said that when they tried to say that Obasanjo was against the way they are doing things, the administration, the way they have been carrying, people are dying of hunger? Is it not the same man that was talking about Obasanjo, insulting Obasanjo, that Obasanjo should go and look himself in the mirror before he will come out and talk? Is it not the same man? Is it not the same man that said what Peter Obi did not do anything in Anambra State? Is it not the same man? But today is telling us that Peter Obi said he want to remove fuel subsidy, and his principal has removed fuel subsidy. My beautiful people, nah, these people can talk lie. This man, how old is this man that he cannot even stand by his word, cannot even go straight and say this is what I said? Now he's painting it with English. He's painting it with different. They're asking questions. He's talking here. He's talking there. Anyway, my beautiful people, what did we expect from APC? Lies. Sorry, lies upon lies. This morning show has put him in a hot seat, a very, very hot seat. When you go back home, he will sleep, and maybe all the media houses that have been in, because I've seen almost all the media houses in Nigeria has invited this man for this Peter Obi matter, and all of them are still saying the same thing, that Peter Obi did not do anything. Peter Obi only come out to make his harmless speech, New Year speech. Why is it that anytime Peter Obi is talking, anytime Peter Obi is doing something, APC, he will be pinching them? I don't know. Is it that they are afraid of Peter Obi, or they are jealous of Peter Obi, or what? Or what did Peter Obi really do to them? I don't understand, my beautiful people. Now the man is saying that Peter Obi followers are threatening him. So now they ask him, where is the proof? He say he has reported the matter to the police. And you say this Peter Obi say APC are threatening him. You say Peter Obi should bring the proof. You yourself, you said there are almost over 400. You have gotten over 400 threats. What is your own proof? Nah, man, this man. I believe the children, if you have children, they will be so ashamed of their father. Or if you have a wife, the wife will be so say, check, this is my husband, I'm ashamed of him. Oh, does it mean because you are APC, you don't want to offend your principal, so you have to stop speaking lie? You have to, because you don't want to offend them, you don't want them to remove you from the seat, you don't want to go straight. I thank God for Ayo. Now that they are pushing out Buhari regime, that it was not their administration, but remember Buhari was still APC. All of them, they were in that administration. Tinubu, he came out, confessed to us that he's the one that put Buhari in that seat. So it was still APC administration. Buhari has done his own. Hunger want to kill 5 people. People were suffering. Now, according to his principle, he said, I'm coming to continue with Buhari. And anyway, my beautiful people, what do you think in this matter? Please drop your own opinion in the comment section. This man can't talk lie. Imagine if I don't change, he just deny everything. Thank God for for the videos. They replay it. They are just replaying the video, quoting his own what he said. Now the man has just denied everything. Now he's using English language to paint it. Something that he just said clearly. Everybody, me, I even saw it. I even reacted on that video. This man is just saying what I don't know. Anyway, my beautiful people, if you have watched this video to this time, thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel. And those that have subscribed, that have been watching and they have subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you for always coming back to watch my video. Share this video, give me a thumbs up, like, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye for now.